Hello and welcome to Level Die. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be talking about
Resident Evil 5.
yeah, fucking the production quality is going up, up, up. What up? We had music on the last one, and this time we got some weird fucking intro. So I just got back from the gym. We were doing legs today, so I'm fucking beat. I'm going for that Chris Redfield boulder punching look. I mean, that dude definitely did legs because the heights that man can jump from, completely fucking insane. So this is the first Resident Evil game that we've talked about on Level Die. So I think we should do a little bit of history. I have played 2, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit of 1. Well, a little bit of 1, a little bit of 2, a little bit of 0, 4, 5, and 6. So, yeah. I like the third-person survival action horror ones, Resident Evil 6 being my favorite. So, that's already going to turn a lot of people off. So, that's where my mindset is. That's where I'm going to be coming at Resident Evil 5 today. Just to let you know, I plan on talking about more Resident Evils on this podcast. Most likely, we're going to talk about 6 eventually. I love that game. It's fucking great. 4, not as good as 5. That's a fucking hot topic, hot take on Resident Evil as well. I think 5 is better than 4. And I'm not really interested in the old ones. I'm really not. Just like puzzles and shit and like walking around, I don't know, back and forth, doing circles and shit, trying to find like keys for doors that are like all the way at the beginning of the game. Not into it. I'm into fucking balls to the walls, survival, action, horror, sort of being on the edge of your seat stuff. And that's why I like 4, 5, and 6. Preferably 5 and 6. Preferably 6. So let's get into it. I don't have any notes. We're going to freestyle this bitch. We're 2 minutes in. Haven't even started talking about the game. So Resident Evil 5 is Chris Redfield's journey into the heart of Africa to, well, stop some BOW, which stands for bioorganic weapon, which is in the Resident Evil universe sort of the zombie plague and stuff that affected Raccoon City and is causing all this trouble throughout all the games. It's BOWs, and he's part of a military organization called the BSAA. I couldn't fucking tell you what that stands for. I mean, I can look it up. So he teams up with his new partner, who is also new to the series, Sheva Alomar. BSAA stands for Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance. Not fucking bad. That's a pretty cool name. I don't know. I like it. So Chris Redfield, who's been a star in multiple games and movies. This is his big shot into Africa. And he teams up with Sheva, the local BSAA woman from the Africa branch. And they go on a journey to sort of stop the next BOW attack. The plot takes some turns, and we find out that maybe one of Chris's old partners might still be alive, and one of his long-lasting arch rivals might still be alive as well. So we get taken on a dastardly journey through the plains of Africa, basically. This game, I really like the level design. I like the aesthetic. So I like that. It's got like this sort of orangey yellow filter over it, and I'm a huge fan of it. I think it like really fits the aesthetic, and it looks really cool. So the game starts like really fast. I mean, it is a non-stop action thrill ride. So the game opens with like a walking sequence where you get your intel and you listen to someone over the mic. No big deal. Then right away, you get your gear, you get into a gunfight, you like watch this this guy infect another guy with a virus, and then he comes back to life and he tries to kill you. You kill him, no big deal, and then you start getting chased, and then you end up in like a town, and you are watching basically the execution of, I think it's a BSAA member. I'm pretty sure, or it's just some random fucking like villager. But you get into this like little shack, and you get a cutscene of like this big ass dude with an axe, like chopping off a dude's head, and then a dude pointing at you and going, "Kill those fucking BSAA members," and then you get your first major gunfight of the game. And that's within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, you are fighting 50 people. And this is what I really, really enjoy about Resi 5. I'm going to most likely call this Resi 5 or mostly Resi. So this is what I like about Resi 5 is it is literally nonstop. I think probably the slowest part in the game, which like, and it's nice. It's like a nice change of pace, is when you get the little airboat and you sort of skid around and you kind of pick which area you want to go to first, and you can kind of, do that. I like that. That was a good, calm area. But then like you go to a location where you're supposed to be at, and it is just jam-packed with people to shoot. It's fucking awesome. So you're in this village, this town village thing, and you, like, they give you some ammo and shit, and then you can, like, board up the windows. You can push, like, bookcases in front of the windows or the doors to sort of give you more time to get locked in, get ready, and then they just start rushing in. And then if you stay in that little hovel too long, this is like scripted, people will come in from the ceiling. So at a certain point, people will come in from the ceiling, so you have to kill them. And then if you stay in there too long, the big axe dude will just smash the front wall down and just walk in there and wreck you if you don't escape the house and start like running around the town looking for ammo. There's actually a gun in this location. It's the first SMG that you get, so I've beaten this game 3 or 4 times on veteran and normal. I think I beat it once with an actual human partner, and then the other times I beat it with Sheva. This most recent time I beat it just last week, I did it on normal because I was just trying to beat it. I've already done veteran, and veteran is so fucking hard with AI Sheva. And we'll get into AI Sheva a lot throughout this. We are definitely going to cover Sheva. So actually we'll just talk about it now. Resident Evil 5 is the first Resident Evil game that featured co-op. So this was in the era of Gears of War. So we're on, I think, what is that? Gen 6 is the 360. I think we're on Gen 7 now. Gen 6 or 7. Gears of War comes out, and it is what all games strive to be at that moment. Like third person, shooting, co-op. Everybody loved Gears. Fucking rules. So I think they also added the co-op thing because the first trailer for Resident Evil 5 came out, and it was just Chris Redfield, like the biggest, whitest Chad man that's ever lived, just shooting tons of black people. And people said it was racist. like really racist. Like, why is this white dude just in Africa genociding black people? So I think after the first reaction that people had, they added in an African partner so that it's a little bit less racist, and they sort of changed around some of the villagers. They don't all just look like black people. Some of them kind of look Indian, and some of them kind of look Mexican, honestly. They're like, Spanish. So they add in Sheva, and she is, if you're not playing with a human, like your buddy, if you're not couch co-oping this shit, it is AI, which is artificial intelligence. So she sort of thinks on her own. She's terrible. She is, oh my God, she's so horrible. Trying to play this game on harder difficulties with AI Sheva is more of a test of patience and willpower with the AI than it is with the actual challenge of the game. Because she will, holy shit. There's a fight way later in the game where you fight two mysterious characters at once. I'll get more into who those people are as we go on. You're fighting these two people, and one of the phases of the fight is to sort of restrain one of the members one of the people that you're fighting, and have your partner sort of do an action on the restrained person. And I remember I managed to restrain this person, and Sheva just ran into my back and then would just turn 180 degrees back and forth, and then she'd start running into my back again, and then she would turn 3 or 4 times 180 degrees and then run into my back again. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Because you have to rely on her to do this for you. So it's a huge pain in the ass. This was their first attempt at a co-op partner, so obviously it's not going to be perfect. But there are some major flaws. One of them is she's retarded. The second is she can die. So if you aren't paying attention to her and you're not constantly going, come here, get over here, get over here, get over here, she will just get pinned and just get ass slammed over and over and over again. I didn't have as much of a hard time this last time I played it, but that's because I played it on normal. But on veteran, playing with her, which I have done, I've beaten it. It was fucking horrible. She will just get sexually dominated every 10 seconds. I mean, you are babysitting for 90% of the game, and it is rough. So that was one of the big, major, glaring flaws of Resident Evil 5, is that your AI partner, outside of certain circumstances, was kind of bad. Like, there's another part where you're underground. No, actually, I did have trouble with this just this last time, where you're underground and there's people like shooting laser beams of sun at you. I know it sounds a little out there, but there's like certain areas in the map where these beams of sun will occasionally shoot through, and you sort of have to like time it, run through it, get to the other side without getting hit by the beam, or you take like 85% damage to your health. She just kept fucking getting hit by that sunlight, dude. It was wild. It was wild to watch, because I would get to where I need to be, and she would just kind of go meep, 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 and meander around, and I would just be like, oh, here it comes, fucking here comes the sun, and it would just fry her ass over and over and over again. It was a trip. So she also has 2 combat modes. She's got, what is it called? Combat and cover or something. I don't know. Assault and cover. Who knows? There's a cover option, and there's sort of there's a cover me option where she sticks close to you, conserves ammunition, and tries to assist you. And then there's go for it mode where she just uses. I think her order is it's sniper for long range, SMG for middle range, and then shotgun for close range. So she will just run ahead of you, steal everything on the ground. She will not give you a chance to pick up ammo or gold. She will take point, and she will open all the boxes, take all the ammo, load it into her fucking 150 shot SMG because I've been upgrading it, and just spray and pray every fucking enemy on the map. And to be honest, she's actually really good at shooting enemies. She will pop headshots all day long. You give her a sniper rifle, she will fucking dome motherfuckers. It is incredible to watch, honestly. I mean, she is good at that. She will dome people with a sniper rifle. I mean, fuck, we got to get her on like a first-person shooter video game, Call of Duty, quickscope shit. I mean, she's dynamite. I remember just hit and go for it, and just we would each take a piece of cover, and it was actually pretty sweet. You know, I was shooting some dudes, and she was just popping heads left and right, and then the fight was over. I was like, holy shit, you just killed like 6 guys in like 5 seconds because you just got a headshot every single time. Fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. So she's good. She's like, she's good with certain weapons. So the pistol, she's good with the pistol. It's an easy weapon to use. She's good with the SMG, and she's good with the sniper rifle. Those are the 3 guns that you would give her. As the main character, like as Chris and as first player, you would probably take pistol because it's literally the most abundant ammo. And when you upgrade the starter pistol, so you can upgrade weapons in this game. You slowly, throughout the campaign, pick up more weapons if you find them. There's like 4 different shotguns, 4 snipers, 4 pistols, some revolvers, and magnum usage weapons. There are some explosive weapons, and there's a handful of SMGs too. There's like, I think there is 4 SMGs. There's the like M4, there's the AK-47, the MP5, and the little fucking Rattler, little trash SMG that's like actually pretty fucking good because you can use it to, it has critical as its special thing, so you can use it to get critical headshots, and a critical headshot means if you shoot an enemy in the head with a weapon that has critical chance, it'll just headshot them sometimes, and their head will just explode, and they'll instantly die, which is fucking awesome, because when it works, it fucking works, and you definitely needed it. So, big fan of that. So, as you go, you get more weapons, but you can upgrade the weapons that you get, and if you upgrade the starting weapons, you unlock a special set of weapons. So, if you fully upgrade the pistol, you get like this 3-shot pistol, which is fucking rad. I'm 1 upgrade away from getting it on this save file. If you upgrade the SMG, you get a fucking minigun. You get a fucking minigun, dude. And I think only Chris can use it. And then if you upgrade the starting sniper, you get the longbow for Sheva, I'm pretty sure, which is just like a bow and arrow with infinite ammo. And she just, apparently, I've never gotten it. She just domes fuckers with that thing. I mean, she will actually be a good partner if you get her the longbow. And then if you upgrade the shotgun, the starting shotgun, you get the Hydra, which is a 3-barreled sort of sawed-off shotgun, which is fucking sick. Love the Hydra. God damn, it's such a cool fucking idea for a gun. I love sawed-offs. If I had a favorite shotgun, it's sawed-off double-barrel shotguns. So the fact they just added a third barrel, perfect. Just fucking great. So, so after you get done with the village, some shit happens. I don't really remember. You escape. A helicopter dude helps you. You basically make your way through a bunch of African villages, fighting people, sort of trying to find this dude, this New Jersey fucking guy named Irving. And he's like, "Oh, you two, this is just in time for the show." And he's basically the first person that you're chasing down. He is there's intel saying that he is involved with bioterrorism, right? So that is why you are chasing him. So you chase him down, and the plot thickens slowly as you go through, any game, and you slowly start to find out that possibly he's working with someone else. You also get evidence of your partner from the past, from back in the day, might still be alive. So after you're chasing Irving, Irving's chase ends in a super sick boss fight. Well, it's all right. I'd say it's all right. It's all right. You making your way downtown. You make your way downtown, and you hit some villages, and then you end up at this oil refinery plant, and you fight some chainsaw dudes who will one-hit kill you if they hit you, which is pretty sweet. So you got to make sure that Shev is nowhere near them when they do their big swinging attack. Fight two of those guys. I think the second one is optional. You can run away from him, but you get treasures. Certain enemies drop treasures, and you can also find treasures in the game. And then you can turn those in at the end of a subchapter or chapter, and you can make money, and then you can use that money to buy items or upgrade your guns. So obviously the smart decision is to upgrade your guns, because the starting pistol can get 100+ ammo in one magazine. That's a little wild. So you can have a 250 damage pistol, which is pretty fucking strong. It's basically as strong as an unupgraded shotgun that has critical chance and 100 bullets in the magazine. So that's what I did for Chris. I upgraded the pistol. I upgraded the starting shotgun, and then when I got the grenade launcher, I put that in there for versatility. Like the grenade launcher, it has different shells that you can put in there. You can put electricity, acid, explosion, fire, flash. I think those are all of them. And some enemies are weak to other things, like the lickers are weak to acid. The big spindly noodle head guys that I'll talk about are weak to flash grenades. Like if you throw a flash grenade when those big noodle head guys are coming at you, they'll instantly die. Also those guys that are only legs, and then there's a big ball on top of them with a mouth. Those guys are weak to flash grenades. I found that out just this last playthrough. If you throw a flash grenade, they instantly die, which is fucking cool. The bugs, those fucking insta-kill bugs that I died 12 times to on one level over and over and over again, they do this move where they walk at you, and if they touch you, they grab you, and they instantly kill you. So that happened to me 12 times because I just could not get out of the way fast enough, because the controls in this game are sort of like a modified tank control. It works. It really works. It just takes a little bit getting used to. If you press back towards you on the analog stick, your character will back up, which is cool. And then if you hit back and the A button, because I played it on Xbox, you'll do a 180-degree turn, and then you can hold A and push forward, and you can start sprinting the opposite way. And if you if you turn left, he sort of like does a turn, and then if you can press forward, and he'll like move forward. It's cool. I really like the tank controls. I don't have a problem with tank controls, and they work well, and it makes it tense. I mean, it makes it feel. I mean, you can like literally just like back step away from enemy attacks sometimes. It's pretty cool. So the little insect ant fuckers that I was talking about, those guys are weak to electricity. So if you shoot an electricity grenade at them, they instantly go into the state where you can hit their weak points instantly. I mean, it gets you past like 6 shotgun shells, basically. And it immediately goes into the phase where you can hit his weak points and kill him. Those things are actually like really easy to kill if you can get them into that state and if you can hit their weak points. If you don't hit their weak points, it's not going to happen. I mean, they're going to regenerate, basically, come at you and stab your sides until you die. There are actually a lot of good enemy designs in this game. I like all the mutations. I like the bug. The bug is cool. The noodly head guy is cool. The dogs. There's dogs in this game, and they sort of like split in half, and like they become like two, like their head splits in half, and half their body splits in half, and it becomes like a giant mouth. That's fucking cool. I like that. Las Plagas 2. The Ploginator or whatever. Las Plagas 2 Electric Boogaloo is the name of the virus in this game. It's a modified version of the virus from Resident Evil 4. They actually reference the Kennedy report, and Kennedy is Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. So there is continuity. The games do acknowledge each other, and they are all in the same universe, which is cool. Obviously. I mean, how could they not be? There's a lot of them now. So when you finally meet up with Irving, this is before the oil refinery. I'm fucking skipping all over the place. You like go into a cave. It's a little rusty. The game moves fucking quick. I actually skipped a boss too. There's like this big crawly bat boss with like a big fat larva ass. You fight that thing. You basically run around in a circle and plant mines, and then it hits them, and then you shoot it in its ass, and then it dies. So that's a cool boss. And then you get a turret sequence, which is fine. And then it's serviceable. Turret sequences are a way to break up gameplay. It is the easiest thing someone can put into a video game to sort of like give you a breath of fresh air. It's just a turret sequence. Just put you on rails, make you shoot dudes on cars, easy peasy. Then you fight an El Gigante, which is not a good boss fight. He just sort of like does some punches and some kicks at your car, and you just shoot him. You just fucking shoot him. He's like a big dumb target, and you just gotta shoot him enough. That boss fucking sucks. And then I would just say you get to Irving. I would say Irving's probably the next big fight, and he takes the Las Plagas, and he turns into a giant fish, and you shoot the shit out of him from the back of his boat. I like that fight. That's a good fight. You tell Sheva to get on a gun, you get on a gun, and you guys just like shoot all of his tentacles off and shit, and then you like shoot him, and then he ends up detaching from the thing and then dies, and you move on. And then you get into like the really we're going to get a little racy right now. You get into the very racist part of Resident Evil 5 where you literally fight black people from Africa that have shields and throw spears at you. Yeah. That's a weird part of the game. So or is that before the oil? I don't fucking know. There's a part where you're like going into like real ass African villages and just shooting spear wielding black people. I thought that was kind of racy. I think other people did too. But hey, they're Japanese. Whatever. We'll cut all that out. I would say the next major boss fight is that like the spider? Maybe it's okay. So you eventually find out, and this is where the plot takes like the turn. Is you find out that your partner Jill Valentine might still be alive. Jill is from the first Resident Evil, and others. And others. It's fucking late. Sorry for the yawn. You find out Jill Valentine might still be alive. So you try and hunt her ass down. And you end up meeting up with your old rival friend, fucking Wesker. Albert Wesker. And since the last time we saw him, he has become Neo from the Matrix. And I'm super into it. I think a lot of people thought that the Neo Albert Wesker was cheesy or stupid. I think it's fucking radical that he can dodge bullets and move at super speed, and every single cutscene with him dodging bullets and kicking Sheva and Chris's asses is a delight to watch. An absolute fucking delight. I think he is super campy and fun. He's a great villain. It is super fun to. He's like, what is he? He's like 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I have, or 9 minutes. 9 minutes is all I have to fuck around with you. And you do, and this is the fight that I was alluding to earlier, where it is revealed that Jill Valentine is working with Wesker, working in quotations. We'll talk about that in a second. And Albert Wesker. And he, like I said, like you got to catch his ass by surprise or you won't be able to shoot him. So it's actually like a really good boss fight. There's two ways that the boss fight can complete. You can deal damage to him and enough damage. Like you can actually deal damage to him if you catch him by surprise and shoot him enough and knife him enough and counter him enough and all that stuff. And there's that way of finishing it, and then there's just the time. Like he literally will just leave after a certain amount of time, and then you just fight Jill, and then you find out that Jill is being brain mind controlled by a big ass device in her chest that looks like a giant fucking ruby. Now, this is what I was talking about when I was saying that you have to restrain Jill, and then your AI partner has to run around and try and rip the ruby out of Jill's chest, right? But what really happens is she just gets her ass stuck. So that fight was a pain in the ass. I think I was just having some bad RNG, just some bad Sheva time. It happens, no big deal. We eventually beat it. You save Jill, and then you go and you pursue Wesker. And then you get probably like one of my favorite areas in the game, like this segment of levels is the underground ruins levels. So you have like the puzzle room, and then you've got you got a few puzzle rooms where you just solve like laser puzzles, which is super easy. They're fun, nice change of pace. There's also some extra loot that you can get by lining up the lasers right, which I love. I love the loot in this game. It is so satisfying to like collect diamonds and rubies and sapphires and gold and sell it all and then upgrade your guns. It's a really good gameplay loop. I'm a fucking huge fan of it. Resident Evil 4 had the same thing, and it was actually even more complicated because there were certain treasures that you could slot other treasures into to increase their value, which was pretty dynamite. In this one, I don't think there's anything like that. There's just like different shapes and sizes. Fuck. of all the different jewels you can get, I apologize for all the yawning. I'm fucking tired. This is a late episode. This is going to come out at like midnight tonight, and I'm recording it fucking live. So, love gathering treasure in Resident Evil 5. It's fucking great. And there's tons of treasure in these underground segments. And I also just like the design of it. Like Sheva even comments, she's like, "Oh, I didn't know any of this existed." And it's really cool. This is also the sunlight part where she gets fried by the giant sun laser. Which is, we make it work. But there's good combat areas. You running around, dodging the sunlight, trying to grab like 3 pieces to unlock this door. You unlock the door, you move on. You get another underground segment where like you pull a bunch of levers and a bunch of enemies spawn, and you just fight enemies, and stairs go up and down and shit. Super simple. It's not complicated. You don't really got to think much. Just pull the levers and go where it shows you. And I don't really give a shit about puzzles. I think they ruin the pace of most games. Like even in BioShock or Prey, which I was just playing recently. Like the hacking mini games and stuff, they like slow down the pace of the game. I think Deus Ex had a good one because it fit with the aesthetic. I mean, you go into the computer, it's cyberpunk, you hack the fucking thing, and then it opens, and it all makes sense. BioShock, it was like a tube puzzle with sliding, flipping blocks. And Prey, you just move a cursor around and get it into the goal in time. It's fucking dumb. And it just takes away from the game, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of puzzles. I think that Devil May Cry 5 did it right and removed all the fucking puzzles. Solid idea. I think that Resident Evil 5 toning down the puzzles to non-existence was a fucking good idea, because this game is a tense, edge-of-your-seat style of game, and if you have to run around, like, you just have to stop and sort of look at a puzzle for 15 minutes, because I'm stupid, okay? I'm just not good at puzzles. I'm like Mac and Charlie, man. No puzzles, no puzzles, no puzzles, no puzzles, no puzzles. That's the kind of guy I am. So I liked that Resident Evil 5 didn't really have any. It just didn't have any puzzles, and I dug it. So you get out of the underground area, you find out that a company, Tricell, which has been in Africa and is like basically just another Umbrella corporation, is actually working with Umbrella and is up to no good. So you're hunting down just some shit. I mean, you're basically in pursuit of Wesker. You know Wesker is here. You know Wesker is up to no good, and you're going to try and hunt his ass down and kill him. So you eventually get to... We're going to skip a bunch of shit. You get to this like super cool underground lab area where there's just tons of dudes that you fight, and then you fight like a giant spider. You fight this giant spider, which I think it's a pretty good boss fight. I like the giant spider boss fight. Basically just shoot him in his face. If you shoot him in the legs, he'll fall. He'll kind of like fall. And if you have grenades, you can fucking shove a grenade in his mouth, and it will blow up the top of his head, and that'll give you even more weak spots to shoot, which is fucking cool. Like, just like those little puzzles in the actual boss fights are really nice. Like when you're fighting Wesker during the 2-on-2 fight. I actually think that's a song on the soundtrack. I was looking at the soundtrack today. I think it's called 2-on-2. So when you're fighting Wesker 2-on-2, you can actually shoot a rocket at him. He will catch it. And then if you pull your pistol out hella quick and shoot the rocket, it'll fucking explode and do a ton of damage to him. Like, they don't tell you that, and they don't give you a rocket launcher. You either have to buy one, or you can find one during the airboat mission on a boat somewhere in the middle of the ocean. You just find a rocket launcher, and you can just save it. And if you fire that rocket at him, he'll catch it, you can shoot it, it does a bunch of damage, and that's how you get that sort of damage end to the 2-on-2 fight. The spider fight, throw a grenade in his face, it blows up. There's this worm boss, which I skipped. I fucking skipped this boss. This is actually like the first boss that you encounter, is like the worm fire boss. And he's just like a bunch of worms, and you can like knock... So I think people initially think knock the container over, and shoot it as he comes close to it. But really, if you knock it over, he'll walk over it, absorb it into his body, and then you can shoot it and it will blow up and you will do fuck tons of damage to it. And then you can also, in the first fight at least, because you fight another noodle worm boss, in the first fight, you can lead him into this furnace. And if you manage to do it, it's a huge pain in the ass, especially with AI Sheva. You can just roast him, and you basically instantly win if you can get him in there. Because like the doors come down super slow, so you got to like keep him in there, and then you got to jump out at the last second. But if you can do that, that's a good boss fight. The second one, not so much. I honestly had a ton of trouble with the second one this time for some reason. I don't ever remember having that much trouble. It was like, when do I use the flamethrower? When do I shoot his weak points? I was having a hell of a time. But still a good boss fight. You basically fight him in a lab. And then the worst part, though, about that underground lab sequence is when you're coming out of it and you're riding this big circular elevator, you have to fight dudes while the fucking elevator spins in a circle. So it's super hard to hit enemies, and it kind of makes me dizzy. It's a little dizzying. But good area. And then you come out and you go onto a boat. The boat level is pretty fucking sweet. It's tough. It is a tough little fucking mission. I think that's chapter 6. I think chapter 6, the final chapter. Chapter 6 is the boat. We're already on the final chapter. I'm going to talk about some other shit. This might be a smaller episode because I'm all alone. So you get on this boat, and they actually give you like a sniper's perch, like really early on. And you can actually snipe a ton of enemies and get them out of your way for later, which I liked. So if you actually have if you go up there, you can take care of some stuff for later, which I liked. And then you get inside the boat, you go through some stuff, you fight some minigun dudes, and then you fight 2 minigun dudes at the same time. I don't think there's any major bosses inside the boat. Then you get outside the boat at the end of the level. Is Wesker on the boat? Yeah, Wesker's on the boat. So, wait. Yeah. So you fight Excella, which is a woman that has been working with Irving and Wesker this whole time that I didn't mention. She's pretty cool. She's got tiggo bitties. She ain't bad looking. Wesker injects Excella with Las Plagas, and she turns into like a giant fuck off monster. And then you have to like hit her with a bunch of satellite laser beams. Serviceable fight. I mean, you kind of just wait for the laser beam to lock on, fire it a bunch of times, fight's over. No big deal. Then you get Wesker Fight 2. Wesker Fight 2, a lot of fun. It's a good fight. So Wesker is walking around, you meet up with him, and you basically have to fire a bunch of rockets at him and shoot the rockets and blow him up like you did during the 2-on-2 fight. But they actually give you a rocket launcher and they give you ammo for it, and they basically tell you this is the way to do it. And you do that, and then you have to restrain him, and then you have to stab him in the neck, Metal Gear Solid 4 style, and then that ends the fight. And then you get a super sick cutscene of all of you fighting in an airplane, which is just more of Wesker being campy and cheesy and doing Neo shit. Awesome. Complete global saturation. Awesome. So he basically wants to set off a bomb in the atmosphere that will infect the entire planet. Dynamite villain plan. Nothing. I don't see any fucking fault in it. You stop him. You save Sheva from falling out of the plane. The plane crashes inside of a fucking volcano. You now fight Wesker inside of the volcano. He fucking shoves his hand inside the Las Plagas missile, absorbs it, turns into a fucking freak of nature, and chases down you and your partner. You fuck him up. pretty good fight. Pretty easy fight, honestly. Not a hard fight. Just follow the phases. This is also the scene where you get the infamous boulder punch. And I mentioned this earlier, but I didn't go into detail. There's a certain segment in the boss fight where there is a giant fuck off boulder blocking the path that your partner needs to take to get to you. So you punch the shit out of it and shove it, and it moves. I mean, it's probably like a 5-ton, 6-ton boulder, and he punches it so hard and so many times that he moves it. So I think he might be one of the strongest video game characters that's ever lived, aside from like Asuda. Solid. So that, and people thought that was like super hard, like the boulder punch. It's not. Like if you've ever played Metal Gear, it's not hard. You just press the buttons and then it's over. I guess there was maybe like a pre-patch version, but I don't remember that. I always remember it being fucking piss easy. So people who had a hard time with that are bad at games. Just like the part in Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed was actually broken, where the analog sticks would just like do a bunch of random shit while you're trying to pull that Star Destroyer down. And I was just like, fuck this. I just ripped it to the left and I ripped it down. Fucking beat it first try. No problem. But you punch the boulder. You meet up with Sheva. You guys fuck Wesker up. Wesker falls into the volcano. Dies. Game over. Happy ending. Boom. Saved the day. Fucking everybody's safe. Solid ass. Fucking 10 out of 10. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 game. Solid. Then you unlock, I think you actually have Mercenaries to start in the gold version. So then you get extra content like Mercenaries, Desperate Escape, and Separate Ways. These are these little DLCs that came out that were really actually pretty fun. They're just like a beat it in one sitting type thing. So one of them focuses on the mansion with Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine leading up to Jill Valentine disappearing. And another one focuses on Jill Valentine and Josh, who is a character that helps you out throughout the game, escaping from the Tricell facility. And that is a trip. That was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing that. It's just shooting. It is nothing but fucking killing. It's awesome. The one with Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine is puzzle focused. It's more trying to be like Resident Evil 1. Desperate Escape or whatever. Separate Ways, I think it's called Separate Ways, is way fucking better than the Chris Redfield one. So dug the shit out of that. And then we get to my favorite fucking game mode in all the Resident Evil games, the Mercenaries. So the Mercenaries is an extra game mode that you can play where basically you fight waves of enemies on a level as one of the characters that's in the game. And this one, with gold, it runs the gambit. You even can play as characters that are not in the game. So you can play as 3 different versions of Chris, like 3 different versions of Sheva, 2 versions of Wesker, 2 versions of Jill. You can play as Barry Burton, Josh, Excella, Rebecca Chambers. So Rebecca and Barry are not in the game. You can't play as Leon, though. Like, the only game where Leon, the only piece of fucking Resident Evil where Leon and Chris are in the same room is 6. And that's why, one of the reasons why fucking Resi 6 is so good. But basically, Mercenaries is a mode that you play just to enjoy the combat. So you're on a time limit. So basically the first thing that you want to do, at least what I do, is there's these extra time up pickups that you can get. So you go, you kind of run around, grab a few of those, give yourself like a good chunk of time, like 5 minutes. And then you just start wailing on enemies. And you try to build a really high combo. So if you can kill enemies in a certain amount of time from one to another, you will build your combo. Building your combo gives you a higher score multiplier once the combo ends based on how many enemies you killed, what enemies you killed. It'll give you a fuck huge multiplier. It is possible, technically, to combo all 101 enemies or whatever that spawn in the mercenaries. So you can get a perfect combo. I did it in Resi 6 once. It was fucking sweet. So my favorite mission is the village with the executioner. I like that mission. It's just fun. Super simple. Just play as all the characters, just smashing people. So we're going to talk about some of the gameplay stuff now, since we've covered the story. And now we're in the gameplay focus part of the game. So this is a third-person shooter. I think I may have mentioned that. It's over the shoulder. You have a limited inventory space because it's survival and horror. And you basically shoot dudes. One of the things that is really cool that is being transferred over from 4 is you can put enemies into a stunned state, where if you shoot them in a certain part of the body and you do enough damage to that part of the body, they'll go into a stun state. So if you shoot them in the leg, they might go down to one knee. If you shoot them in the shoulder, they might like jolt and hold their shoulder and look at you. If you shoot them in the head, they'll get a big head stun and they'll like walk back and forth and stumble. And when you have an enemy in a state like this, you are able to do the strongest moves in the game, punches and kicks. So if you stun an enemy, you can initiate a sort of melee attack on these enemies. I would call it like an opportunity attack. There's a name for it, but I don't remember what it is. These moves not only do a fuck ton of damage, they can hit multiple enemies at the same time if they're close enough, and you are completely invincible while doing them. So that means there is a strategy that I discovered playing Mercenaries. I'm going to call it the reload punch. Now, typically, plebeians like yourselves will hit the reload button in the middle of a firefight. Chris will drop his mag out. He'll insert a new mag, and it'll be ready to go. There's a second, different way to reload that is actually faster, more efficient, and more big-brained, where if you open your inventory, you pick up ammo, and you combine it with a gun in your inventory that's compatible with that ammo, it will reload. So that means, and I've done like the timing on it because I was doing it in the middle of firefights. Technically, the reload times on some guns, if you get your quick reload down where you pick up the ammo and you drop it on a gun in your inventory, I was able to reload 3 weapons in the time it would take to reload 1 gun. So imagine that. You're in a firefight, you do a quick turn, you run out of ammo, you open up your inventory, click, 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 click. All your fucking guns are full, and you just continue firing. Now, the reload punch. If you initiate one of the punching invincibility moves that I talked about, you can open up your inventory and combine the ammo to the gun in the time that it takes for you to do that attack. So that means that you can reload 3 firearms while being invincible from all damage, come out of that animation, and have 6 full guns of ammo if you're carrying that many fucking firearms. And if you are, Jesus Christ, why do you have so many firearms? That fucking discovery is honestly super important when it comes to the higher difficulties. Not like the reload punch specifically, but being able to reload a ton of firearms really fast becomes very important, I think, in the later difficulties. And if you're playing Mercenaries at a higher level, because you want to be able to keep killing. Because if your combo runs out, you're not going to get that S rank. So you got to be able to reload quickly. And the reload punch is probably the It is the best way to reload your gun. You fucking shoot a dude in the head, he gets stunned, you go in for the punch, you fucking reload all 4 guns in your inventory, you come back out, you pop another dude in the head, you punch him, you fucking, you're running around throwing grenades and shit. Dynamite. Mercenaries is some of the most fun that I've had in a third-person shooter for sure. Resident Evil 5 is better than Resident Evil 4's Mercenaries, and Resident Evil 6's Mercenaries is even fucking better than that. God damn. I put, I think, 60 hours alone in Resident Evil 6 Mercenaries. It was fucking great. Loved every fucking second of it. But yeah, that's Resident Evil 5. Really good, solid fucking game. Great gameplay. Great. I think Chris is good. Sheva has her moments. Irving is fun to watch, and Wesker steals every single scene that he's in. Pretty fucking great game. Definitely worth playing. It's free on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass right now if you're an Xbox user, so I would recommend playing it if you've never played it. You do not need to play any other Resident Evil games to play this game. It's just good fun. I definitely recommend it. Mercenaries is a trip. The DLC missions are a trip. There is still an active multiplayer community, so you can hop into a multiplayer versus game, or you can have people jump into your co-op games, or you can do like Mercenaries co-op online too. Still, people are playing this because it's fun and it's on Xbox right now. I definitely recommend you play it. Thanks for listening. If you like this content, please like the video, share with your friends, subscribe for more stuff. We post every Friday. It's been me solo for the last 2 weeks, but hopefully we'll have some more voices in here starting again up next week. I really appreciate you listening. Simply be despair. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one.